Previously on Your World.
You are about to meet a woman who has suffered more abuse than you could ever imagine. Sexual abuse, marital violence, and even random attacks.
A man came up to me and said he had nothing to live for. I just got in the car. He stopped somewhere and he raped me. And I could feel the bullets go in my body and I got scared.
Jesus, man. Sheena's story doesn't end here. I'm bringing in someone that's going to sit right here on this sofa with me. And together, we're going to allow God to do what only He can do in this situation.
I say all the time, and women say, why do you say? I call it dead women walking. Wow. You know what a dead woman walking? She's given up, she's quit, she's tired, she's frustrated, and only thing left is, Lord, I won't take my life because I believe that is a wrong thing to do. So if you're gonna let me live, this is where I was on my couch less than 3 years ago. If you're gonna let me live, please don't let me live like this.
You won't want to miss a second of today's show. I'm Creflo, and this is Your World.
We'll continue with part 2 of this episode.
Changing one life, time after time. Oh Lord, we do it all for you.
Through the trials I see, I'll always believe a new life starts with me. Oh, change your world today. Change is gonna come your way. Change and get an understanding. His grace will transform you.
Welcome back. Now, I want to bring out a woman who survived a rape and an abusive situation, 18-year marriage, and has since dedicated her life to helping women around the world navigate through the transitions of their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dr. Sonia Stribling to Your World. Welcome. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And this is like, it's a really key time, and I know you've heard some things, but you know, here you sit and what you're doing and what you know.
Yes, sir.
And audience, we don't have somebody sitting next to her that is not sensitive and aware of the pain that she's going through. She's gonna be our coach and expert for today. I want to give her the platform and allow her to begin to speak to her and help to navigate and to get Sheena to a place where she can transition out of all of this pain into a place where she can see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So, Doc, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Let's rock and roll
Sheena,
with this.
can you do me a favor? Can you raise your head for me, please? I just need you to raise. Can you look at me, please, sweetheart? Just for a minute. Just for a minute. Because I need to give the enemy something. I need to give him something. I need to give him something. Because right now he's defeating me. So I need to see this face. Look at me, please. Look at me. Just look at me just for a minute. I know. I was back in the back and I heard some things and I was about to jump out of my skin. And now I understand why all this is happening. You were me some years ago. Suicidal, depressed. I'm done. I'm tired of fighting. But I need you to raise your head up and give God something to work with. Because right now, you're not giving him anything. So he needs something. So as you go through this, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, if I may. I heard you say you have 5 daughters, yes? I want to start with them real quick. Can you look at me for a minute? I want to start with them. Do you love your girls? Do you wish this upon them?
No, that's why I'm here.
Okay. So if you don't want them to have something, you know it starts with you. I want you to put your mask on first. You know when you're in an airplane and they ask you to put your mask on first and they go through all that, say put your mask on first and then put on your children's mask. And so in order for you to put your children's mask on, you got to put, mommy has got to put hers on first. So you have almost grown daughters, yes, and some younger ones. It's time, but mom's got to do some stuff first. So as we go through this transition and Dr. Dollar is talking to you and I'm asking you all these questions, I need you to get God a stance that you've already won. Because there's some power in you that you have no idea, you haven't even tapped into. And the simple fact, there's a mindset that's going on over there, and you're allowing some things to win. And not saying it's your fault, but there's some decisions that have to be made. So as we begin to go through this, I'm going to ask you to make some decisions to hold your head up, one, and give such a stance that you've already won. It may not feel like it, but I want you to just give a little stance. There we go. Let's get it straight. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. And as we go through this, there it is. I see just a little bit trying to break through. It's like some sunshine trying to come. I know. Yeah, there's even a smile that's going on. But as we do this, my dear, you, like all the other women out there, it starts with a mindset. And so as you're doing this and you're concentrating, and I heard you tell a story about the foster family, and they taught you about God, and she painted a visual picture for you. And you said something about religion. I want to talk to you about a spiritual connection. There's something that's going to transpire at this very moment, because what I'm hearing, this has never happened before. Not even in your life, from what I hear. So I'm going to ask you to connect right now, not just what we were saying, but just hear God's voice to say it's going to get better. You may not feel it, you may not believe it, but it is absolutely possible. Okay? So as we go through this, I want you to kind of share with me, and you shared it before, your childhood, what you can remember, because my understanding your mother's here, yes?
Oh, my godmom.
Godmother, okay.
My godmother.
Your childhood, what do you remember seeing as a little girl growing up?
A lot of stuff.
What stuff? Those vivid
going
memories.
To church.
Going to church?
Going to visit grandparents.
Okay.
Going to the country.
Yes.
Going to school.
Going to school. What about it as a teenager? Good things. What do you remember that are good about your life as a teenager?
As a teenager? My children. My friends.
Okay. Do you remember what happiness felt like at any moment in your life as a teenager? Remember that?
Yeah.
I want you to connect to that for a minute, just for a minute. Because what I believe, Sheena, is what is taking place. You're focused on, and I'm not negating the fact that all these things happen. See, I too had a child at 15 years old. I too was raped at 17 years old and left for dead. Was in an verbally abusive relationship and was married for 18 years. Been to combat, been shot at, been bombed, all of that. And like you, I was just tired and didn't want to do this anymore. But I just knew that something had to change because I had to make a decision that I wanted better. So my question to you, do you want better?
Yes.
Are you willing to put in the work to get better?
Yes.
To what extent?
Whatever extent, I don't want this to fall. I don't want my children to be like me. I don't want my grandchildren to be like me. I've just accepted this. And if this is what God wants me to be, fine.
Do you believe God wants you to deal with all this? Do you believe he really wants you to go through all of this?
Ma'am,
Yes.
Valentine's Day, I was assaulted. Getting out of my car at the gas station. That was just last week.
Understand.
So I'm 40.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm just saying I don't want my children to have to live like I did. I don't want them to have to feel like I did. I want them to be able to be functional.
Yes. Yes. But is mom functional now?
I don't know what mom is anymore. Mom is just here.
Can I kind of share? I believe there's like 3 levels of a woman. I call it pillars. It's like in our life, our relationships, and even the business, but just in our life, there's something that transpires on the inside of us if we allow it. I said if we allow it, because you don't have to allow this. And I know there's some things that happen and they're very tragic, and I'm so sorry. I was in the back just trying to hold myself together. Okay, no crying, don't do that. But I completely feel your pain. I can feel it. It's like nobody in this room right now cannot feel what you're going through. Yeah. No one. But there's one thing that I know, there's some decisions, and I'm not saying you're calling for those things. It is almost like, and I know we say this all the time, it's like, this is how my life was supposed to be. I look back now and people ask me, I wouldn't change a thing about my life. All the hell that I went through, I wouldn't change a thing because it allows me to come and be transparent and share my life with someone else. And so what I feel is, Sheena, this is just a part of your story to help another woman. And not just one, I mean thousands of women. Yeah. And I know you're asking, well, Lord, did I have to really go through all of this? Did I have to go through all of this to do it?
Right.
But how else could he take you? How else could God take you from this and put you in a place where thousands will hear your voice and you save some lives just by your story? How else? Many people don't go, you know, some people, well, I went through this, but it's not the same. I heard Dr. Dollar say something about this is your Job story. This is who you are.
You know, one of the things that I want you to recognize is what she just said, you're doing right now. There are millions of people that are going to be helped and changed as a result of what you're doing right now. And Sheena, it is not God's will or plan for anybody. Well, this is God that causes me to go through this. No, there's another character in the play. And it's Satan trying to stop that voice. The voice has already started, Sheena.
Yes.
Your tears have already become tools of ministering to people. Lives are being changed right now. We've already done a show. It's too late to go back. You're already changing somebody's life. So it's not like, it's not like, oh, that's not going to happen. It's already taking place. You're 2 weeks into changing lives. And the people that watched the show last week more tuned in this week. And they see what was just described to you. There's a mission in you.
Absolutely.
There's a voice in you.
Bigger than
and
you
your
know.
girls are gonna watch and see this thing transform. Now, I don't agree with all the stuff you have to do to prepare to get there. I had to go through some rough stuff. I'm thinking, why did I have to go through all of that to be prepared to do that? But had I not gone through that, I would not have been able to relate passionately with what people were going through. And I'm telling you, you are just going through the necessary courses to prepare you for a successful mission. That's what you're doing. And listen, everything has an expiration date. Everything has an expiration date.
When is my expiration?
I'm glad you asked that question.
When you say yes. When you say yes.
Did you hear?
When you say yes, that's when it ends. When you say yes. When you say yes, and you're not looking for it in anybody else, it's just a connection that you have. When you say yes, it's a rites of passage. A rites of passage to get to this place where, you know what, Lord, if this is what I got to go through, so be it. Let's do this. But as I go along the way, what is it? Have you ever asked yourself, what is it that I'm supposed to learn from this?
Yes.
Have you learned anything? What is one thing you know you've learned from this, thus far, this experience? Because it's tragic. Because hear me, because most people would not have made it through what you've been through.
No way, no.
He knew who to pick. He knew to select you, and I know it. I don't mean to sound funny about that.
No.
He knew. I hear some men say, you went to combat? Yeah, but you're in combat right now.
You understand what she used to do, right?
In the Army.
You were in the Army.
I was in the Army.
Combat. Not no secretary behind no desk. You understand what I'm saying? She did some stuff some men wouldn't do.
Responsible for counting, and now I understand, Dr. Dollar, just now I understand I was responsible for counting bodies. But see, I didn't know that I had to come back, stateside is what we call it, and count the living bodies. And it's almost like I say all the time, and women say, why do you say? I call it dead women walking. Wow. You know what a dead woman walking? She's given up, she's quit, she's tired, she's frustrated, and only thing left is, Lord, I won't take my life because I believe that is a wrong thing to do. So if you're gonna let me live, this is where I was on my couch less than 3 years ago. If you're gonna let me live, please don't let me live like this. There's gotta be more. And when I understood there was more, I couldn't see it, but I had to put in my mind that there's gotta be more. I hear you talk about your relationships. I'm gonna challenge you today about the relationships that you're in, the ones you'll get in, because what I heard you say, I believe that you're choosing relationships based on the little girl that was 9 years old. You're choosing relationships and things that are going on, not the things, everything you can't control, Sheena. I understand that. There's another little girl that is 16. She's making decisions, the one who had the child. And then there's a grown woman making some decisions. There's probably about 4 women, and everybody can take this. You got to figure out and decide who's going to lead you. The 9-year-old is making some decisions. She cannot. You got to put her to the side and let her die. There's some forgiveness that need to come in place. Then there's a 16-year-old, the child that had a child. Some people don't understand that, can they? Never understand. We never forget. That's why I'm so passionate about young women and the older women dealing with women that are 67 years old, still dealing with this. I don't want you to be that woman. 67, dealing with some of the things tragic. So then you got the younger woman, 18, 19, some things happen to you. I'm asking you, matter of fact, I'm begging you on behalf of your daughters and all the women that you're going to touch years from now, I'm asking you to let the grown woman make some decisions.
Now, let me define decisions. A decision is the open door into reality. It will never become a reality until you make a decision.
Yes.
That's what she's been telling you. The 40-year-old woman, the grown woman, has got to open the door. It seems like it's small. Well, what is it going to do when I make a decision? You're opening the door to reality. The decision to be successful.
Yes.
The decision to no longer to be led by the 8, 9-year-old, the 16-year-old.
Yes.
The decision to not allow all of the things that you've gone through to define who you are.
Absolutely.
The decision to say, I'm going to be well, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be successful. None of those things can take place until you, first of all, open the door to the reality of it.
Yes. Yes.
I sense you're ready to make a decision.
Yes.
I see a change in your face.
Yes. Yes.
Your head up a little bit more.
Yes.
You got some tears coming down, but not as much as they used to.
Yes.
And I sense the grown woman
Yes.
getting ready to make some grown woman decisions.
Yes. Yes. And so with the enemy, I believe, Dr. Dollar, what he does, he doesn't care about your past. He doesn't care. He only cares about your future.
Oh, that's true.
That's what he's focused on right now. If I can get her not to hold her head up, if I can get her to only focus on what just happened just a couple of days ago. Dr. Sonia, you don't understand. This just happened 2 days ago. I understand. And some things, and I pray not, some other things may happen, but what is the decision you're going to make how to handle them? Only you. Because I'll be honest, I'm sitting here like, okay, how would you have dealt with this? I don't know. Lord, you chose her, not me. But while I'm here, let's have a discussion about some things. What's next? What are you going to do next? How are you going to think differently? What's the mindset shift that's got to happen? That mindset, every single morning you wake up, what is the first thing you think about when you open your eyes? What's the very first thing you think about?
Thanking God for waking me up.
Okay, then what's next?
My kids, what I'm gonna do for the day.
Okay, and what's next?
Washing my face.
How about we add in you think about you? Because I haven't heard you say anything about thinking about you. Yes, you wake up in the morning, Lord, thank you for another day. What about you? And it is not selfish. This is every single day putting your mask on. Sheena, can you look at me for a minute? In my spirit, every single day, put your mask on. It's protection. You're unprotected right now. You can be in prayer, you can be on your knees, but until you start putting prayer in, Lord, just help me every single day. Well, whatever it is that I'm supposed to learn, whatever I'm supposed to do, connect me to people that are gonna help me get to my next level. And that's the biggest thing. We gotta change this circle. We're changing mindsets. So you'll be able to see your life shift right before your very eyes. And you'll come back and sit on the same show possibly and share with another woman, girl, I was there. I know what it's like.
You better listen to her now. Oh, I got a smile. Look at her. You know, a lot of times people are going to God and saying, or asking God, Lord, what do you want me to do? And you know what he's asking them? Who are you? Because until you find out who you are, you're not going to be equipped to do anything.
Absolutely.
And I think you're hearing that. Who are you? And all of the things that happen in our lives can come together, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we make a decision how we're going to package it.
Yes.
And we make a decision what we're going to do with the things that have happened. I'm telling you, I believe that I am sitting here and I am watching the birth of a powerful ministry. And you know what? The devil knows he's at the end. How in the world did I let her get in between these two people?
Yes, you messed up.
Lord have mercy.
Yes.
Look, and you know it too. But you're gonna have to make some decisions now. Even when you get up in the morning, you gotta renew your mind. You gotta think differently. I'm gonna think differently. And when something happens, that's not any indication that I'm just gonna fall back. Oh well, see there, ain't nothing work. You gotta have a tenacity.
Yes.
And a doggonedness about yourself.
Yes.
That I am fed up with this, no more of this. I'm done, I'm alive,
Yes.
I made it through. Now it's my turn. And it's time for you to open up a can of whoop on what's been.
You know how you get back at the enemy? You know how you get back at him? You get rid of the bitterness and become better. You get to a place, and I call it power. Every single one of us possesses power. But don't think about power like you used to. Power, P stands for possibilities. What are the possibilities that I could have in my life if I made these just little small tweaks? It's gonna take daily activity. And then you want for opportunities. What opportunities that are gonna come your way once you get to a place where you really want this? And then we start talking about this is a man talking about wealth. Wealth, we're gonna talk about what wealth, but biggest thing, not just wealth, your worth. What are you worth right now? And I'm not talking about monetary. What are you worth to this world? What are you worth to your children? And most of all, what are you worth to God and yourself? More than you know. And when you get to the E, we're gonna start doing things in excellence. We're not gonna get with the wrong man anymore. Lean back just for a minute. No, you love yourself. When you start loving yourself, certain caliber of men don't get within, you can smell them as they come. I'm not talking about perfume and cologne. I'm not talking, you can smell wrongness coming. There's that smile.
That's good, boy.
You smell that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And of course the R, responsibility. You have as a woman, as a mother, and a child of the Most High. You have a responsibility, whether you want it or not. Each and every one of us, when we were born with a gift. And the rites of passage gets us to that gift. You got to understand what your purpose is in life. And when you understand what your purpose is, you'll know your potential.
Sheena, all is well with you.
Yes.
All is well with you. I want to thank Sheena and life coach Dr. Sonia for joining us today. Hasn't this been amazing today? It's been amazing. Now, if you or someone you know is suffering any form of abuse, let me encourage you. Now is the time to activate the strength of God to get free. You are not alone. I'd love to hear your story of victory. Please connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or go to my website for more information. I'll see you next time right here on Your World.
Abuse of any kind is wrong. It is a cancer that robs the innocent identity, self-worth, and self-esteem from generations of families, from the youngest of children to the oldest survivors. What's worse, the faceless victims of abuse often suffer for years in silence because they are terrified that they will be judged, shunned, or rejected. On today's emotional episode, you met Sheena, a daughter, mother, and sister who has suffered abuse most of her life, from emotional, physical, and sexual abuse to marital violence and even random attacks. She stayed silent for decades, but today she finally came forward to share her painful story in the hopes of saving the lives of millions who are still suffering. If you or someone you know has suffered abuse, it is time to gain freedom once and for all. Creflo Dollar is on a mission to help abuse victims like Sheena understand that they are the apple of God's eye.
You didn't do anything wrong. And sometimes what happens, especially in sexual abuse, there's this guilt feeling and question of what did I do to cause this to happen? And the answer is you didn't do anything. You were the victim.
It is time for us to awaken to the harmful nature of abuse. The cycle will continue unless courageous people like Sheena come out of the shadows to tell their story. And you can help. Call or go online right now to receive a life-changing collection to help you gain inner strength and help you expose any form of abuse. First, you will receive the Harm of Shame 3-CD series, which will reveal how you can overcome and defeat shame with God's unchangeable promises of love, healing, and deliverance. It's time to shake off the bonds that are holding you back from a life of peace and blessing. Plus, you will receive the Embracing You Confession CD and booklet. Experience the peace that only God can bring as you listen to confessions from Taffy Dollar and profess these empowering words over your life and the lives of your loved ones. But that's not all. Call today with your tax-deductible donation of $30 or more, and you will receive the full, unedited DVD of today's show in its entirety. The incredible testimonies and words of wisdom in this powerful 2-part interview will bolster your confidence and faith to know that no matter how traumatic your past is, God loves you and still has a future and a hope for you. So that's the Harm of Shame CD series, the Embracing Your Confession CD and booklet, and a copy of the full unedited program from today on DVD for your tax-deductible donation of only $30 or more to the work of Creflo Dollar Ministries. When you respond to this special offer today, you are taking action and making a difference. The victims of abuse will be faceless no more through your step of faith. Decide today to change your reality and start living an empowered life right now. Call or go online. Our operators are standing by. For more information, visit us online at creflodollarministries.org. Because of you, Creflo Dollar Ministries is providing a new understanding of grace and empowering change in the lives of millions of people every day. Thank you, partners and friends. Your love and financial support makes it possible to bring this message into millions of homes all across the globe.